Morning. This is Sherry Milliger from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I have some cute projects for you today. Two very different projects from the same adorable stamp set or bundle. So let's just give a minute to see if we have anybody join us this morning. And if not, we will just stamp away anyway. Good morning. Thanks for joining. I appreciate you being here. I can get stamping. So let me go ahead and move my camera. Good morning, everybody that's joining. We have got two different projects that are very different from the same bundle that I think you'll enjoy this morning. So let me go ahead and move my camera and get it situated here so we'll be ready to stamp. Hey, Gail. Hey, Eva. Welcome. Let me go ahead and get the camera flipped around. There we go. Thank you, everyone, for joining this morning. I hope you're having a good morning so far. So I'm kind of excited about this because I had planned something different, and then I started playing with this project this morning, and I decided to go with what I was doing, go with what I was goofing around with. So what I want to show you this morning is two very different projects, both with the same bundle. So I'm pulling out the Dress to Impress stamp set, and it does come with some matching dies that I've got all over the place this morning. So these dies, of course, match the images that come with the set, the stamp set, but it also has this little adorable purse, strap, and also a tag. So there are a lot of things that you can do with the stamp set. So let's get moving on this first project so I can show you what I wanted to show you. So the first project, I started this morning making this box, or I'm sorry, the purse. So, and then I got an idea. So I know, ideas, watch out. And so we're gonna go with the other idea. Anyway, so out of the die set that comes with the bundle is this purse die. And of course you can, you will need two of these for each purse that you're going to create. So they're very easy to put together, and I'll show it closer to the screen. But it's so nice because it has the stitching all the way around the purse, but it's also already has the scored lines for you. So it makes it so easy to know where you're going to fold and where you're going to glue. So let me pull up. I want to pull up, if I can, real quick, Facebook, just so I can see if we have any questions as we're going this morning. In Murfreesboro, it is cloudy, and we have some rain. But it's still Saturday, which is a beautiful thing. Okay, so the other thing that I pre-die cut ahead of time is these straps. And that comes from this long piece here. Now you could also use that strap, that die cut, in order to create some accents on your projects too. That is a nice little strip that you could put a tag over. For instance, if you die cut a tag in white, that would be an adorable strip to go behind it because it's nice and neat. You've got the die cuts on both sides. So that's something I would recommend trying as well. Okay, so while I was putting this last purse together, the color combination made me think of something, and I want to go in that route. So we are going to take this little purse and make it into some Santa pants with suspenders. So I am noticing as I'm sitting here that I am just about out of adhesive. So let me grab some adhesive real quick. I've got my adhesives stored in a box, an old paper pumpkin box, and I can just pull them out when I need them. So, let me just refill this real quick before we get going. Now, one of the things you keep in mind, please, as you're putting together any kind of 3D project, whether it's this purse, whether it's a box or a bag, you really should be using either the Stamp and Seal Plus, or also another handy thing is in the catalog there is Terror Tape. And those are meant for 3D projects. Those are meant for 3D projects. There we go. So we've got that all set up. So let's go ahead and start. We're going to begin with the Santa pants. I think I'll do this one since I've already got it folded. But what I wanted to do in the die cuts are also these little buckles. So I went ahead and cut out my buckles ahead of time along with everything else in some gold foil. So we're going to use those gold foil buckles. And then we're going to use our little strip here. So what we also need then, I think to show this off, is a little strip of black. So let me go ahead and cut a 1-inch strip of black. I know I want the width to be 1 inch, but I'm leaving the length open because we're going to hand cut that. And the reason we're going to hand cut it is because if you'll notice on the purse itself, it's kind of angled. So that is just too much math for me to be able to get that angle absolutely correct and cut it professionally. So I'm just going to put it on here and then we'll manually cut that. So this is the bottom of my box. So this part will not be here. So I'm just kind of eyeballing where I want this to be. And that looks about right. So I'm going to go ahead and get in front of the camera. I'm going to go ahead and add some of my Stamp and Seal and put it on my bag here. And then we'll come back and I'm going to go ahead and fold this piece here that is part of the bag that we assemble just to the side. And then I'm going to snip it. And then same thing over here, snip it off the side. So look at there, no math. Isn't that awesome? All my math teachers out there are probably laughing. Okay, now we could do one of two things. I think that we are going to use one of these buckles in order to make a cute little belt for Santa. Another thing that you could do is just lay down a rectangle of the gold foil itself. But I like the gold buckle. So I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive. This is such a small little piece of paper, of course, with holes. Just a little is going to do it. Let's get that somewhat center. Very good. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is take two more buckles and thread through my little strip here that is supposed to be, it's meant to be the strips of the or the handles to the purse. But we are going to use those for Santa suspenders. So let me put these through the holes here. Well, for some reason, I'm not seeing comments this morning. Let me open it up a little bit larger. I hope everybody's doing well this morning. Yeah, I don't see comments. I apologize. Okay. So we've got that gold, those gold buckles kind of just hanging on there. So when we get this box put together, we'll adhere that with the adhesive. So the next thing to do is put this together. So of course we needed two sides. For reference, if you're going to use a designer series paper, DSP, I would say you're going to need about 2 pieces of 6x6 for each little bag. I think I used not quite a full sheet of a piece of 8.5 by 11 of this. So let's go back to here. So we're going to want to do 2 things. On this part, I'm just going to focus on, we've got this one folded already, every place that the box is going to go together. But on this side, I'm just going to focus on putting tape on this little flap here and this little flap on the side. And do yourself a favor. Make sure that you get it good and taped. That way you will not have a problem when trying to put it together or trying to keep it together. Okay, so all you have to do is take this fold on the bottom, fold this little flap in, and then you're just aligning the sides. And I'm just kind of pinching it to make sure that it's down. This side I've taped here because it's easier to do it while it's open. So that one we can set aside for now. Now we're going to go to our next piece and do the same thing. I want to go ahead and fold all of my all my flaps. It's already scored for you with the die, which makes it super easy. Okay, so what's going to happen now? We've got basically the same here, same thing, but the opposite. So I'm going to kind of fold this one in and hopefully make it easier to see. What we're going to do is basically set this one inside the other. So that means I need adhesive on this bottom here in order to hold. I want to make sure that this little flap, even though I'm kind of setting it inside, I want to make sure it goes in the inside so it doesn't show on the outside. And then same thing with this one. So we are going to want to put adhesive on here, the inside. And again, do yourself a favor, make sure you get a lot of adhesive on there so it will come together fairly easy. There we go. And especially make sure that you're kind of going to the end. All the way to the end here, all the way to the end there. Let me set that one aside. On this one, you kind of need to add adhesive to the same 2 places, on the tiny flap and here on the side. Okay, so I have got, as you remember, the adhesive on the bottom. So I'm going to start there. And what I want to do is, let me try to open this up so you can see it. But I'm just kind of fitting the corners. And I can even turn it over and show you here, fitting the corners. And now I want to make sure this little flap is on the inside. And I'm just going to pinch it to make sure we've got a tight seal. And then I'm going to fold in my 2 other pieces that need to go. Focusing on the bottom first, just making sure that it's aligned. and kind of pinching it to make sure that it is together. And then do the same thing on the final flap. Make sure it's aligned. And then I'm just going to pinch it to make sure we've got it together. Okay, there's our little Santa pants. Isn't that cute? Okay, final thing we need to do with that is add add his suspenders. Oops, I just took off his gold buckle. Let's try that again. When you're doing this, make sure that you have the stitch side showing. Let's thread that through there one more time. And I do have enough glue there that will a little bit above and a little bit below. There we go. Let's add one more. I've got tape on my hands, so it is walking away from me. Let's try going this way so we don't take the buckle off this time. There we go. And then the final thing we need to do is make sure we attach it on the back side. And of course, you just add adhesive. This little bag is going to be perfect for a gift card. I'm overdoing it on the adhesive on this because I did not have any. I'm out of Stampin' Seal Plus because I've been creating my Christmas projects, but that is what I would recommend for this project, or the tear tape, which is in the catalog still. I'm just pinching those down to make sure they're good and safe. Okay, there we go. We have our little Santa pants. And that idea came from just this. Isn't that cute? I think it's adorable. Okay, so that's our first project. I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. And then I wanted to show you something totally different, but using the same stamp set. Let me go ahead and take this. Oops. Let me go ahead and take this off here. I want to go ahead and fold it because I have adhesive on the other side. Paper pumpkin shipped. I can't wait to see it. It should be here next week. Okay. I just need this little bit. We're going to create a card next. And again, staying with this very same stamp set. This time, I went ahead and I stamped out the little lipsticks here. And then I used the die cut to prepare 3. And I went with 3 because I want to stick with the elements of design, working in an odd number. And I only need two things for this project. I've got a piece of thick Whisper White, and then I am going to use some masking tape. And you can use painter's tape. That would be good. You could use some washi tape, but we're gonna go ahead and tape off a section of this. I'm not gonna worry about that little thing there. It's gonna be stamped on. So let me get some tape ready here. You know what, before I do it, I'm gonna test this tape out. Yep, it's going to come off easily. I haven't used that tape in a while. Okay, so we've got a rectangle here. So I need to come down an equal amount because I want what we're going to stamp inside to be centered. I need to come down an equal amount from the bottom and the top, and an equal amount from the side, from each side. So I don't want my stamped image here to be too big, but I want it big enough in order to fit my 3 little lipsticks. So I'm just going to use this as a gauge, and we're going to kind of guesstimate here. It's looking like possibly 1.5 is going to be big enough, or maybe that's going to be too big. I think it's going to be too big. Okay, I think we're going to go with 1. We are going to go with 1 inch all the way around. So I'm going to get 4 pieces of tape ready, and I'm pulling them wide enough to make sure that they're covering the sides. Okay, we've got 4 ready. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to use our grid lines here to make sure that we're somewhat center. So what I'm doing is just lining the card up to a grid line here, and I think I'm going to just use a piece of, oh, that may not stick. Why don't we stick with what we're already using? I'm going to use a piece of masking tape to kind of just make sure that holds in place. And then I'm going to go ahead and take one of my I'm going to take my ruler. Let me see if I can find a pencil real quick. Probably not. Nope, don't have a pencil handy, so we're going to go without it. Okay, so we are going to eyeball 1 inch. Oops. I'm messing up my tape. I'm making sure. Good. Again, I'm going to eyeball 1 inch. Trust me, if stamping had to be 100% perfect, this would not be the thing for me. In fact, that's absolutely why I fell in love with stamping. I know I've told this story before, but it's helpful to know. So you don't have to be hard on yourself. I loved crafting. Always used to love crafting, but if it wasn't absolutely perfect, I was not happy with the outcome at all. And when I lived in Owensboro, Kentucky, my friend Elaine, she showed me stamping. And one of the first things she showed me was 2-step stamping, which was awesome because, it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, the little imperfections is what makes it beautiful. And so that's how I fell in love with stamping, is just having that ability to create something that doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so there we've got our square. We can kind of put our tools aside there. And then we are going to work with, I pulled out some, the light and the dark blends of Flirty Flamingo. So we're going to go with Flirty Flamingo ink as well. And this, let's see, I already got my pieces out that I wanted to use. We're going to use this piece here. Be as bold as your lipstick. Okay, so let me go ahead and get that on a block. And that saying is going to become the backdrop to our image. I dropped a lipstick and I can't find it on the floor. Don't you love how that happens? It's probably sitting right in front of me and I don't see it. Okay, so I'm just going to ink up my image here. This is a polymer stamp. So I'm going to go ahead and slip in under here my piercing mat. And what I want to do is just go ahead and add this greeting. But I want you to see that I'm adding it almost as if I'm creating some wallpaper. And the reason I say that is because if you'll notice wallpaper, the image repeats itself like every maybe 18 inches, 24 inches, whatever the design is, but it's askew. So it's not on the same. These will match the opposite. And the one in the center is a little bit different. And then the one in the center matches the one over here. And even though we're seeing just a bit on the side, it's still important to the overall design. And the reason that is, when we take this apart, we want this to look as if we cut it from a piece of pre-printed designer series paper. And so if you do your spacing and alternate where you are laying down your design, you'll have that effect. So now I'm going to go ahead and tear off my tape here. And even though I tested it out, it is not working well. Ah, look what I did. It's not working well. Darn it. So we're going to go with the backup plan. I think this is 2 weeks in a row. My plans have not come together. Okay, so this is what we've got, but that's okay. We're going to go with, we have our design, which is what we wanted. So let's go ahead and put this aside and pull out our trimmer. This is 100% honesty stamping. That's what my business name should be. Nothing hidden behind the sign here. Okay. What I'm doing is just trimming it for the same effect. And we will go ahead and adhere it to the same thing, to a piece of thick Whisper White cardstock for our base. Let's see. Okay. We've got one that's already cut and scored. We can set this aside. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and lay that down. This part I am not going to lift up with adhesive. I want it flat to kind of go with the same design that we were attempting to do. Let me go back with I'm still on a temporary table here. So it does work better when I have a piece of scrap paper under me. I'm going to eyeball getting that in the center. Okay, good. And now I'm going to set this aside. We'll work with our little lipsticks here. I'm going to pull a piece of paper real quick to use as our backdrop. Something that doesn't have adhesive on it. Okay, and I mentioned I have Flirty Flamingo here. So we're going to use one shade for the top and one shade for the bottom. And so I think what I will do is use my light, and you can tell of course by the colors, but they're also marked. So I'm going to use my light, and there's two different ends. I'm going to use the brush tip down here, and we'll just do all the same, all of them the same. So we have some symmetry. And I'm using the brush tip here just to kind of color in quickly. Now, before I die cut these out, I went ahead and stamped them in Tuxedo Black Memento ink. That is the perfect ink for the blends. I really like the blends because you can kind of scribble like that, and it is not going to be, it's not going to look scribbled. These are alcohol based. So the color kind of bleeds together into itself. And now we're going to come with the Pink Flamingo Dark. And we're going to add our color here for just the lipstick portion. We're going to use, whoops, went over there. We're going to use the rest, or we're going to leave the rest white. And that works out beautifully because we have our white backdrop with the whisper white base. Okay, final thing that we need to do is assemble. And before we do that, we want to do two things. We want to do an envelope at the same time. And then we also want to make sure that we stamp inside the card, okay? So the greeting that I chose was one of my favorites from this set, which is Hello Fabulous. So let me pull a block. I'm going to do two different blocks. I am going to do one for the Hello Fabulous. There we go. And then I have another block for this little splotch. So basically it looks like you've taken lipstick and wrote on it. So I'm going to use, again, my Flirty Flamingo. And then for the greeting, I'm going to go with the Memento Black. And again, I just set down my Flirty Flamingo. I've set down my Flirty Flamingo and can't find my Flirty Flamingo. Does anybody else do this, or is it just me? Am I just the crazy one? There we go. Oh my goodness sakes. The struggle is real here in Murfreesboro today. I keep setting things down and losing them. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and I can't find my little, there it is. My goodness, I put it aside with my scrap piece of paper. I want to test this out first. Okay, so this is a lot of design, so I want to make sure that I press, okay, but not get on the edges. Got it. I'm going to take a baby wipe out real quick. And with my baby wipe, I'm just kind of cleaning my edge. A way to avoid that is use the proper size block and not to smush down. So let's go ahead and I want to go ahead and stamp here. And then we also want to stamp on the inside of our card. And what's making a difference with, let me go back. What's making a difference between here and here is the quality of paper. So this is a Whisper White envelope, and of course this is the Whisper White thick. So the quality of paper is going to be totally different than what your scrap is showing. And so I'm doing basically the same thing, creating the same design on purpose so that this looks as though it's it goes together, which it does beautifully. And then I want to come back with my black, which looks very juicy. And we will put our greeting. I just love the stamp set. And I've got good news. There is a stamp set coming without showing it to you. There's a stamp coming in the mini catalog that goes with this one very well, and a punch that goes with the stamps very well. So I can't wait to show you that. Okay, final thing is to put it all together. And that way we are going to put our lipsticks adhered to our front with dimensionals. Well, as always, I want to see what you've been working on lately, so feel free to share those. I do generally kind of post those on my Facebook page because you guys are all so good at crafting. I like to share with other people what you're doing. You all do beautiful work. All work is beautiful because it's from you. So a little tip, when you are trying to do something match on, make like three down, do the middle first. If you do the middle first, it's easier to get the other two aligned up. That one looks a little bit too low. There we go. And now we need to do the third one. Oh. There we go. Okay, so let's look at our projects that we did today, both with the same bundle. So we've got the Hello Fabulous lipstick card, and then we've got our little Santa pants, both with the same bundle. And the bundle that we chose today was the Dress to Impress bundle. Isn't that adorable? I love that they're so diverse out of the same product. So I hope you guys are enjoying your stamping products. If you have any kind of question at all, please contact me. You can contact me through Facebook or on my website, which is southerncreations.stampinup.net, and I'm happy to help you. So we talked about Whisper White. I did post a notice this week regarding Whisper White. So unfortunately, the manufacturer that has made our Whisper White for all of these years is having to go out of business due to COVID. So, of course, this is very sad news, but Stampin' Up! Has taken steps, and they've created a new color, which is going to replace the Whisper White. There is maybe about 5 products that are impacted. Let me go ahead and switch my camera around here so I can talk to you. There is about 5 products that are impacted, which of course is our notebook or our note cards and envelopes, and our Whisper White medium envelopes are impacted. So definitely check out that post on my Facebook page, and I'll be sure to send that out. If you're on my email list, I'll be sending out details with that too. So what they've replaced it with, the bold white, has been tested. It's beautiful. They're very happy with it. But if you just have your heart set on, you've got to have, this Whisper White, and you are finishing a project, you may want to do an order sooner than later, because once that's gone, it is gone. So I'm proud of Stampin' Up! For, they didn't have much time to react to the problem, but they did a good job, and I think they've replaced it with something very nice. But that's part of this whole, pandemic situation, is people are going out of business. So, which leads me to the next topic. I want to, again, just thank you for being a customer. I appreciate your loyalty. I do appreciate you referring people to me, and I take the business seriously. It's fun to do, but I realize you're spending money with me, and that's a choice. So thank you very much, and I appreciate it. That's all for today. I'll see you next Saturday at 10 Central Time, and stay tuned. I think we'll do a giveaway today. So stay tuned to I think it's day 12 of December. So have a good day. Bye.